Hey guys, it's Rachel at From Moments to Milestones, and we're back with a new paper pad card kit. This features the 6x6 pad from Carta Bella, Farmhouse Summer, and we created 7 cards. So if you get the kit, you'll get these instructions with a picture of each card and a list of the supplies we use to create these kits in the back. And these are a quick look at what we're making today. So we'll get started with this one here. All right, so we're going to start this one with putting together the truck. So all these other little bits, this is going to be the gift in the truck. You should have a little post-it note with 5 tiny die cuts. You'll want to set that aside as well. All right, so I want the truck. I need the 2 wheel wells. Those are the bows for the gift. You also have this, kind of looks like a fairy wand goes with that. 3 clouds I'm gonna put up here. And you should have these really small, thin yellow pieces as well. I think I may have lost one when I opened the kit. All right, I found that. And then these white pieces here are the little back of the truck. I don't know what you want to call that. It looks like a fence, but it's just kind of the back of the bed of the truck. And then you should have 6 small circles. Those are your wheels. So I'm going to start with a truck, and I'm actually going to ink it to kind of give it this little rusty look here. So I'm using Scattered Straw Distress ink and a dauber, and I'm just going to ink all the edges. All right, so there's that, and then I'll do the little and then you have these little itty bitty pieces, and they die cut out of this die cut, and they're actually, I'm going to put them back in there. So you could ink them if you want, or we're just going to put them back in. I don't think I inked them, to be honest. I think I just kind of went and inked around where they're going to go. Make sure I do that good. Just kind of peel it back a little bit. And then what I did was I took a piece of tape. I'm just going to put it on the back. Try to get it where it at least catches a little bit of every piece, and I don't want it to show, so make sure it's straight. Okay, and then I'm just going to tuck those pieces back in there. I'm going to find my tweezers. There they are. And then I'm just going to tuck them back in where they go, and then that tape will help them stick. I don't know if it's supposed to be a highlight. I'm not really sure why they're cut out. So if you wanted to make them darker, you could do that too. But I'm fine with that look. Okay, and so then this wheel well with the more squared off edge goes on the front, and there you can see the embossed lines on the die cut, so you know where they go. And I actually use some foam to pop those up. All right, that one's going to go there. And that one's going to go there. All right, so now we have that part of our truck done. And so here we are going to need to color in our wheels. So what I used on these silver pieces here. So you could use a silver cardstock when you die cut it, but I just used white. And then we're going to use this Sizzix luster wax. It comes in a jar like this. And this will last you forever. A little goes a long way. So I'm going to use a little sponge to put this on. So I'm just going to dip in there and get some on there like so. And I'm going to do the tiniest wheels. These two are going to stay white. The middle wheels are going to stay white. The two larger ones are going to be black, and these two are going to be silver. So I'm going to come over here where it's going to be out of my way a little bit. And then you're just rubbing it on. And then I'll do this one. So that's what you end up with. And then this Post-it note with the white pieces on there, I'm going to ink those as well. So I'm going to use this to hold it down and do that same thing. All right, so those are done. All right, I have my black ink here. So now I am going to ink up the tires. And I wanted mine nice and dark, so I'm going to ink them once and then let them dry a little bit and put on a little bit more. You could also, if you have alcohol markers, you could color them in that way, or colored pencils, whatever works. The same for the silver. If you don't have the wax, you can use a silver ink or a gray ink and get the same look. All right, so I have my tires done. So the last little bit we need to color is going to be these wood pieces to make for the back of the bed of the truck. So I have a brown, and I'm just gonna ink them up. So on these, you can tell there's like wood embossed lines, so you know which one's the side to ink. These little short ones don't have any embossing, but obviously you could cut these die cuts from a colored piece of paper and avoid this step. Sometimes it's easier just to use white cardstock and be done with it. So that's what we did. So I'm going to set these off to the side as well, because we're not going to use those for a while. And I'm going to go ahead and put my tires onto my little truck. So I'm going to put some glue. There, with the wheels on. All right, and then we'll put on the little white part. And then the silver centers. Okay, and now I'm going to put on the little bumper pieces. So one's going to go here and one's going to go right there. Oops. And I'm going to line it up so it doesn't go exactly where, like to the edge of this piece. It's going to line up with the bumper in the back, okay? And this one Go straight on. Okay. And then you have 3 little pieces left. So on my card, get nice and close so you can see you have a handle here, and then you have a rear view mirror. Now we have 1 oval that we colored silver. I did not use that. I don't know if it's supposed to be a headlight, so maybe it shouldn't have been silver. I'm just gonna leave it off. It's up to you. I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to be. Maybe a headlight, probably, or up here. I'm not really sure where it should go. So I'm gonna leave it off. I'm gonna toss mine. And I'm just gonna use those 2. You can see there's an indentation here for the handle, and then I'm gonna put the rear view mirror up there. Or it's not there, what is it, a side mirror actually? That one there, and the handle on there. All right, so our little truck is ready to go, and now we can build up some of the rest of the card. Actually, let's put together this gift. So you have 2 bows and this straight piece here. So I'm gonna put it on like so. And so you can do it 2 ways. And this card, I have the bows behind and the string on top, or you can build it the other way around. So on this little piece that looks like a wand, I am going to just put some glue right on the long part, center it up. And then I'm going to layer up my pieces on top. So this flatter bow has the heart on it in the center. So I'm going to line that up on that heart. And this one is gonna, the glue is trying to ooze out. And I'm going to put that one on top, like so. So there's my little gift. And we'll set that aside. All right. One last little bit to ink if you choose. So on your clouds, I've added some ink for dimension. You could use the luster wax if you have it and you want. You could just take that sponge and just do the bottom edges. And it's just a little subtle look. But obviously you can use green ink or a blue ink, whatever. I'm going to do the other side this time. All right, so let's put our card together. So we're going to start with that blue plaid. Make sure my card's open in the right way. Go. I'm going to put it right in the center. So it looks like I may have cut it wrong. Maybe it was supposed to be a little bit. So if you want to have this big thick border, you can trim that down. And then I'm going to put the green on. And then you have this piece here with the stitching, and that is going to go, you can butt it up to the green if you want, or you can put it on top. It's up to you. I'm just going to butt it up. So I'm going to put a line of glue. And then I'll just trim off the excess. All right. And now we have this, hooray, it's your birthday, and you have, it's green on one side, red on the other. I'm going to cut banner ends. I'm actually going to fold it in half because you're not going to see the fold. That way I can cut them both at the same time and they match. gonna cut up the middle. And then from the corner to the middle, corner to the middle. Now we have a little banner, and that's gonna go down in the center there. And before I do that, I'm gonna put some foam in the middle of this. And I'm gonna stick it to the banner first, and I'll place the whole thing. So it would have been easier if there was no adhesive on the back of that. Got ahead of myself. I'm gonna center that on there. All right, and then that is gonna go down here in the center, like so. Except you want it to be straight. All right, and now we're ready to put our truck on. So he's gonna sit on top of the stitch lines there. And I'm not going to put adhesive like right here at the top of the back of the truck. I'm gonna make sure I get that little piece so it gets glued down. Because I'm gonna tuck my gift in there, so no adhesive right there so we can tuck that gift in. I'm gonna put my little truck on. He's sitting right on the stitch marks. And then our little gift, I'm gonna kind of put mine in there cockeyed. Like so. Okay, and now we're gonna build up that little wood part of the bed of the truck. I'm going to use this piece as a guide. That's kind of where I want it to sit on the bed of the truck. And right over where those little holes are, so I'm just gonna put glue on the back of these. I think that's gonna be easier. And just tuck and stick them in there. So that one's gonna go about right there. Okay, and then these pieces go over the top. Like so. All right. Okay. All right, so there's our little truck, and we're just gonna finish off with those clouds, and I did pop up one of them. Or two of them actually, one of the small and one of the large. All right, so I'm gonna put this one about right here, and then I'm gonna have, you can have it hanging off or keep them all on. And this one up there in the corner, and that card is completed. All right, our next card is a thank you card. And you have a little bag of flowers. So I'm going to set that off for a moment, and let's build this base up of the cards. We want our card to be top folded, so I'm going to put this floral piece on. And then you have the yellow and the green. Put that in the center. The green in the center of that. All right, and now I'm gonna put the thank you on there. So that's just gonna go right in the middle. Grab my tweezers. So glue on the back. And the U. Okay, so we set that up there while we put together these flower pieces. Carefully dump out your bag. And so we have some greenery. Should have 2 large leaves, 2 small. We should have a couple pink flowers and some little blue, and then you have this large blue, and then you have an outline that goes on top. These are greenery pieces we won't really mess with. Put those over there. And then you should have some Post-it tape with some of your flower centers. Okay? So they're blue on one side, yellow on the other, and then these are red on the other side. So these red ones are going to go in the pink. Get some glue. Pick those up. All right. And then not everything's poked out of there. One of these is going to go on top of the yellow, and one we're going to use without. So some glue on the back of that, and it does kind of line up. There's kind of a flat side to both. And this is going to go in the center of that blue flower. So I'll put that in the center. And then we'll put the outline on. And the same thing, you'll have to move that around till you get it to match. All right. And then this other one is going to go in the center of that red flower. And then those 2 little yellows go in there like that. All right, so we have all of our flower pieces put together. So now we're just going to arrange everything onto the card. All right. So this bottom bunch here, I know has the 2 large flower, or the 2 large leaves, and this big red flower, and then 2 of these mint sprigs. Okay. And then up here we also have that same thing again. 2 sprigs, 2 small, and then that. And then the largest pink goes down here and the smallest up here. And 1 each. Okay? And that's kind of how that goes. So now we'll just arrange them on there. So I'm going to start with the greenery. So I'm going to put 1 leaf down there. And 1 there. And then I think I'll something like that. And then I did pop up this guy here, so I'm going to just put one in the center for now, in case I want to tuck anything. And then I have a pink one in this, and then a blue, so. And there's no right or wrong. Whatever looks good to you. You can totally rearrange them if you want. Decide if I want to pull some blue over here. I'm going to. And then I'm going to start with the greens, the mint greens on this side this time. And I did pop up this flower as well. All right. And then the little leaves, you can tuck in however you want. They're smaller, so I didn't want to start with them, or I thought they might get lost. So chuck that one in there. I'm going to come in on the other side on this one. And then we have a pink flower right in there. And another blue. Try not to cover up too much of that. I'm going to come back here with it. Okay. That card is completed. All right, our next card, a big hello from me to you. It's a pretty little windmill, and that is it's part of this collection from Carta Bella. They had a die released with that. Summer Windmill, I believe is what it was called. So let's start. You'll notice the windmill's white. Here I have that. I've used that luster wax again to give that shimmery look. So I'm going to go back in with and I'm going to need some more. It really doesn't take much. So rub it on. You can use your fingers with this as well, but the sponge does seem to work better and maybe a little less messy for your fingers and helps cover it really well. Oops. All right. It's so pretty. So there is that. And you could really, if you wanted to have that rusty look, you could go back in and add some brown on top of that. I think that would be a cool look too. So if you want it to look a little bit more vintage, you could really ink all of it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this little plaid die cut with a stitching, and I'm going to put that right in the center. Maybe. Now see, I got a little bit of silver there. Make sure my hands are clean. I'm going to use some hand sanitizer. I found that works just as well as anything. And then I can get rid of that on my card with a little Tombow sand eraser. So looks like that. And I'm just going to sand off what I can, and I might be able to put my sentiment over that and cover it too. So that looks better. All right. So then I'm going to go ahead next, and you should have a grass die cut, and that's going to go just right at the bottom. So I'm just going to go in there and put adhesive, match that up, and then we'll trim off the excess. So keeping in mind where you're going to trim might depend on where you lay your grass. All right, so there's that. And then we're going to put we're going to tuck our sentiment in behind our windmill, and the flowers are going to cover up that edge so we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to use this windmill as a guide. I want the whole thing on the card, and it's going to be about right there. So I'm going to use that to put my sentiment on. So I'm just going to put that straight down. And I can have it right there where it's coming, and I want it, I'm going to use the lines in the plaid to make sure it's straight. All right, so something like that. Now, for your windmill, I popped mine up, and it's tedious because these are very down here thin lines. So a couple options could be you glue this part straight down and then just pop up the actual windmills, or you can glue the whole thing down and pop up the flowers. So it's really up to you. I think just for time's sake today for the video, I'm just going to glue it straight down. Dimension is fun on a card. I mean, I always love to add it, but sometimes, especially if you're mailing these out, it's more of a nuisance. So it's okay to glue it straight down. All right, now we're gonna get our little bag of goodies, our flowers, put those together. Okay, so you have a couple white daisies, you should have 3 blue flowers, a large red flower, greenery. So those mint greeneries, then you should have some leaves, more leaves, some little leaves in there. Okay, and then you have a large, and those are all centers. And then you have these little pieces here. So they are blue or mint on one side and red on the other, and then they're blue and yellow. And we're going to grab this. So this piece and these pieces here go together. So what we're going to do is put glue on the yellow, and then the red goes on top of the yellow. And it's really just so you can see that where the red circle is. Okay. All right, so you end up with that, and then those pieces, so I'm going to put glue on the back of these little green, they look like tulips. And then I can get a hold of it. These go right at the bottom on top, like so. I find it easiest just lay it over, push it down, pick it up. one. And that is a really pretty little blossom of buds. I don't know what you want to call that when it's done. So, all right, let's put flower centers on the blue. 1, 2, 3, and then the 2 white. Also get these little yellow centers. All right. And lastly, that big red flower is going to get this larger yellow middle or center. All right. Now we are ready to build up these flowers. So, because I didn't pop up the windmill, I think I'm going to pop up a few flowers. So I'm going to pop up this red one and maybe the blue, but we'll get there. So I know that when I started layering these up, put this stuff off to the side, that I started with this piece just kind of tucked in here like so. So I'm going to go ahead and just be brave and put it down. Now I'm just going to put adhesive for now just on that end in case I do want to move it, but I think I'll be fine with it there. So it's really coming up and touching up here into the windmill, okay? And then this X right here, I'm going to put that right there. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to have, so it kind of comes up through the center of that. And obviously you can just take these pieces, play around with where you want them, and then glue them down. I'm kind of going off of what I did on my card, which you should have a picture and you could kind of go that way. So this is going to go right there. And then I have a small blue and the small daisy. The large daisy is here. And then the big blue, like so. And then we're going to tuck in the leaves. Now when I'm looking here, I see an empty spot, so I'm going to move that. So whatever is pleasing to your eye. And then I'm going to cut down these foam squares so that I can pop up anything I want to pop up. I definitely need something smaller. And you don't have to. I like the dimension, so. Put that daisy right there. And that there. I think I'll glue the daisies, or this one, straight on. And I'm just putting in the center in case I want to tuck some leaves in, as I have these 6 leaves over here that need to go in. All right. So there's that. And then like right here on these, I think I'm going to pop all of those up. So I'm just going to lay that little square down, pull off the backing. There it is. Okay. And now for the leaves. So I have these two larger ones. Here I have that one coming out of the big red flower. I think I might have one coming out of the daisy this time. Yep, I like that. Just gonna go for it. I'd like to show you there's really no right or wrong way. It's what you like, what looks good to you. It's really just an organic bunch of flowers. So whatever pleases. So, okay, I have two big and two little. So I like the big one with this bigger flower here. And I'm going to trim a little bit of it off because I already glued that down. So it looks like it's tucked behind that flower. Like so. I'm going to use this one on the daisy. I think I'm gonna have one, I'm gonna put this little one right there. It looks like an empty spot. I got one more. So I can either go, I think I'm gonna go behind that daisy again. And there it is. That card is completed. All right, our next card is a slimline card. It is wishing you the happiest birthday. So we will start with the base of the card and get to the flowers in a bit. So I'm gonna start by putting these, you have 2 floral and 2 gingham. So I alternated. If you don't like that, you could certainly flip some and keep the gingham at the bottom. It's entirely up to you. There's also back sides. If you like that better, you could do that. I don't know what's on the back, and there's a blue plaid. So those would look good together, or that would look, it's up to you. But I'm gonna keep it the way I did it. So I am going to just put glue around. I'm going to do the gingham first. So, and I'm just going to hold it up and get it in, make sure it's straight, the lines are straight. Okay. And then I will do the other one. All right, like so. And then I'm going to do the same for the floral pieces. All right, so those pieces are on, and now that is going to glue straight down onto your card base. All right, so it has a very thin white border. Okay. All right. that's what we've got, and we have this as well. And then you have your sentiments. We'll just wait for those at the end. So we'll leave those up there, and we're gonna open our little bag of flower die cuts. Set that off to the side. So let's see what we've got. You should have two large blue flowers, and this yellow center is for that. And then we have a couple leaves, large leaves. This is also going to be a leaf. Two red flowers. Let's see, we have some pinks, the blue daisy, and some more leaves. There's some centers here. So we are going to put the yellow centers on the red flowers. One. And then we have this red center is going to go on this yellow flower here. All right. And then these pink, you should have two pink, and then you have these like, they're flower centers as well. They're going to get glued onto there. Now I did use pink and make them a different shade, but I don't have that with me. I'm trying to decide if I want to add brown. I think I'm just going to leave it. It will be fine. So I'm going to put some glue on there. And then you can move it around and play with where you want it. I don't really think there's a right or a wrong. I'm happy with that. This is the same way. All right, so there's two pink flowers. You're gonna have really tiny yellow flowers as well. Now I did ink the edges of the yellow just to add a little something. So I'm gonna do that quickly, just onto the center. Sometimes just a little ink makes them look not so flat. It's that little variation in color. And then on the blue, it looks like I inked that one as well. I'm going to use some weathered wood. I don't think that's the color I used. I'm not sure. Just really anything, just even a brown or a gray, just something. I guess maybe that is what I used. I'm just going to darken it up a little bit. Just creates a little dimension. It's not necessary, but I think I may have used like a purple, it looks like, to try to capture that color there, but this will be fine. All right, so for these two pieces here, these layer up. And so if you have done a card class of ours, we've used this before. It's the Spellbinders flower, and it matches up kind of like this. So there are 3 petals on this die cut that are embossed, and there's like this big opening, and those petals fit inside. Okay, so that's how we're going to layer that up. But I am going to use a foam square on it, so I'm just going to put one right here in that center, and then layer that like so, and then the little yellow is going to go on top. Like that. So that one's ready. Those are ready. And then, I didn't cut the center for the daisy. Well, that's kind of a bummer. We'll just have a daisy with no center. It'll be fine. Okay, so let's layer up our flowers onto our card. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is put that tag on, and I do have the tag popped up. So a couple foam squares on that. Just kind of down here in the corner, just turned a little bit. And then the flowers are going to kind of go from here to there like so. Okay, so this big one is going to tuck in there, and then the leaves in behind it. So I'm just going to put some glue in the center for now. So if I want to tuck stuff in, I can. And tuck in the leaves. Coming out that way. And I'm actually going to tuck in so it doesn't look like the exact same leaf. I'm going to tuck it in the long end this time. So there's a little difference. Okay. And then this little guy, must be a different colored leaf here. Actually, I have the other end sticking out. Let's put this circle in. There we go. Like so. And then if you want to pop up these daisies, I did. All right, so this red one is going to be here. And then I've got a pink one tucked in there. And I think I'm going to add a little, I wish I would have, just so it looks, you can notice it better. I'm just going to lightly dust out with my yellow, so it's kind of an orangey, but that's all right. Gives it more dimension or variation, and they don't look so flat. So that's going to go there. This one is down here, along with a daisy, along with a flower. What else do we have down there? A leaf. And another leaf. And the other red. Okay, so this one is right in here. And this other guy is up here. And this leaf is coming off of that flower. I'm going to have it come this way. All right, so let's get these where they go. This one's actually on the edge of that tag. So right there on the corner. And then the little leaf, we're just going to tuck in back there. So, and then this flower is up under the tag a little bit. Pretty sure I have this guy popped up as well. So let's here. Tuck our leaf under there. And then our little flower. And I'm going to put him right there. All right, so there's your floral arrangement. So you can see it's a little different. There's no right or wrong. And then we're going to put these sentiment strips up here. So I'm just going to take my straight edge scissors, and so there's about that much room. Just going to cut it straight, and then back here I'm going to cut little banner ends. So if you don't want banner ends, you could just have like an angle cut. So I'll show you that. Like so. And then I did use foam on those, so I'm going to get some strips. There's one, and I went all the way over to the edge of the craft, but it's up to you. And then the Make-A-Wish, so instead of going that same way, I'm going to cut the angle that way. And the foam on there. All right, so the Make-A-Wish, come up here, so. And so you can decide which look you like better, this, or they can stay straight edged as well, but that completes that card. Our next card is Welcome Home. It's a Feel Better Soon card. Maybe you know someone who's been in the hospital. This might be a good card, or I'm going to show you that when we create it, yours will be completely white on the back, so you could hide that Feel Better Soon and just have it be white. I was playing around with the placement of the letters on the back of mine, so, but yours would be white, so you could just have it completely be white and it would just say Welcome Home. So I'll leave that up to you, but let's go ahead and get started. We're going to put down the gray cardstock onto the white card base. Okay, and then the green plaid will go in the center of that, but before we do that, get ahead of myself because we got to tie that twine around. So we're going to go ahead and put down the white onto the green. Do not glue it yet to the actual card. So like I said, yours is plain white on the back. If you don't want it to say Feel Better Soon, you can just flip it over and use that instead. All right, and then what we're going to do is tape that to the back. So I'm going to take my scissors and just cut like so. And I'm just going to use some, if you had washi tape would be good. You could glue it however it works for you. I want that twine to go right over that seam. I keep getting ahead of myself. First, we're going to glue this guy down, and then we're going to tie that. I mean, you could slide it in there too. It's not a big deal, but actually I'm going to do that because I've already got the tape on my fingers. Are you confused yet? Sorry. All right. So I'm going to wrap this guy like so. Tape him back there. And then I'm going to pull it tight and do that again. Okay. And then I can tuck this guy in like so. Okay. So let's see. I think I'll use wet glue. tuck that in. And it is going to hang off the edge a little bit, like so. Make sure it's straight. And then this piece can go on there now. So we'll go ahead and do that. So that gets centered on there. Okay. And then you have a solid white piece, and this welcome home is going to get matted on there. Put that on. Then white border, and then I'm going to put some foam on the back of that. Put this, and I'm centering it over the Feel Better Soon. Stick that down, and then you have that remaining piece of twine. I'm going to tuck it under the twine we taped down, and then just right up next to it, I'm just going to tie a bow. So just like so. I don't know why I have a little bit of red in that. All right, and sometimes I like to do this. Just put a little glue on that so that it won't come undone. All right, our next card is Blessed, So Thankful for You. All right, so one little thing we want to do here is you should have these flowers, greenery. I'm going to use those as leaves today. And then what I'm going to do is, you can see here that the centers are a different color. I just used the scattered straw and just went over those flower centers with that, so they were different color. All right, and then we can put the card together. So we will start with this piece of paper here. So it does have a hole in it. We're going to cover it up. So we're going to put the yellow on the hole on the inside so we can cover it up with our greeting there. So, and then you have this green piece here, and we're going to cover up those as well. So worry that we cut out of there. Make the most out of your pad. So we're going to put that in the center. And then that is going to go right there, and we popped it up. Before I do that though, I'm going to cover up that Home Sweet Home. I'm not sure, you know, if you're going to send someone a card and it says Home Sweet Home, I'm not sure how that applies. So we're going to put this Blessed right over that. And I didn't pop it up or anything. You could if you wanted. But I'm just going to glue it straight down. And it goes from end to end on the green. No, it doesn't. It goes from end to end, maybe on the white. Maybe I cut it wrong. I'm just going to center it on there. So you could actually put it over this Home Sweet Home piece and then trim off the excess, which I think I'm just going to pull it off and do that. I don't like the way that looks. So I like that better. It's easier to cut from behind. There we go. I'm happy with that. And so now I'm going to put foam on the back of that. All right. So I'm going to put that up towards the top, centered on the card. And then I'm going to go ahead, the sew thing for you, full for you goes right underneath the blessed, and I just have that cut at an angle. And I do have that popped up as well. You don't have to do that. That makes this card kind of bulky. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So you could just glue your square straight down if you still wanted to pop this up, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the bulk. Just make sure it's straight. Okay. And then we're going to layer up our flowers. So let's take the flower centers. Where is my glue? There it is. And I'm going to put glue there and there. Okay. So we have one here and one right there, okay? Because I have that up on foam, let's see. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put some glue right there, and then I can always go in and tuck in what I need to. So I don't wanna cover up too much of the blessed or the sentiment, so sometimes you gotta play with that a little bit. All right, and then the greenery pieces will get tucked in. I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy right there. And I'm gonna put some foam so it matches. And then I'll put glue on this side. Okay. And then we're just gonna, I'm gonna take one of these smaller teardrops and tuck it in here so it's the leaf for that one. All right. And then I think I only use 4 of these, so it's really up to you how you want to use them. And I'm just gonna tuck them in there. And so you can see these right here are kind of hanging off my card, and I don't want it to get ripped off, so I'm going to tuck some foam on it, peel off the backing. Actually, it needs 2 pieces because it's here and here. So I was wondering why that wasn't working. I'm gonna put one more, like so. And then, do I want any more? I am gonna tuck that in there. Might as well, we have them. Those are actually, I think, flower die cuts as well from the same set. We're just thinking outside the box on them. I'll put it right there. Create some dimension. All right, so there it is. That card's completed. Okay, we have one last card here. So happy to hear your exciting news. Congratulations. All right, so let's go ahead and just put the base together. So we're gonna put down the green paper onto the white card base. So then you have this strip of floral. And I'm just going to come over just about 1/8 of an inch, put that down, and then here, so that those houses are going to go on to that orange square. Just a really thin border on that. All right, and so it's designed for that square to go right over the top of the sentiment. So as far as placement goes, so I'm just gonna, I have it more up towards the top. You could come, I think on this one, I'm gonna come down towards the bottom. So about 1 inch from the bottom, maybe 7/8 if you're measuring. And then we're going to cover up that hole with the square. So I do have that popped up as well. You don't have to. All right. So I'm going to pop that up right over the sentiment. And then just to emphasize those flowers already on the houses, we have some die cut flowers that we're going to put there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put the flowers down, then we'll put the centers on top. So one there, one up here, one down there. And then we have these itty bitty leaves, which it may be easy to just put a little glue on the back, tuck them in. I have 2 on the big one. So okay, put this one down here. And now I'm going to put in the 3 centers. And we'll finish up this card. One, 2, 3. Okay, that completes this card, and it completes this video. So these are the cards we made. I thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a while since we had a paper pad class. I had a daughter graduate high school, and that was pretty consuming for a little bit, but we'll be back at it here at our normal schedule. So if you're interested in purchasing a kit, you can go to our website, www.frommomentstomilestones.com, and you can find our card kits there. We only make 15 at a time, and when they're gone, they're gone. So if it's something you're interested in, you might want to jump on there as soon as you can. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again next time.